Good evening, Chair. Calls to order the Board of Health update for fall 2023. Marcy, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Good evening, Council President Vincenti and members of the Council. I'd like to start with a general overview of the Health Department operations before I jump into the program updates. As you know, there have been many staff changes at the Health Department over the last few years. COVID did a number on us. At times, I covered all 3 executive level positions at the same time. It was tough, particularly during 2022 when I had my injury and 2 bone surgeries. I have to say, after all this, I wondered if it was worth it, but I have discovered that it was. The incredible staff at the Health Department have made it worth it. It is with great enthusiasm that I can now say that these executive level positions are filled with incredible people. Dr. Seibel, our medical deputy health officer, and she is right over there with her children, joined us in September of 2022 while I was still on a crutch. She is doing an amazing job overseeing our clinical health bureau and handling everything that comes her way, from clinic operations to TB cases to school outbreaks, and she makes sure we pull together, even on weekends, to stay on top of the cases. And in July, just 3 months ago, I was fortunate enough to hire Silvana Bowker as our Deputy Health Officer of Operations. It's right there. Silvana is overseeing 3 of our bureaus so far, and they are family health, care coordination, and behavioral health. She brings invaluable previous experience in management and as an LCPC to this position, and even though there's so much to learn within the state system, I felt immediate relief when I hired her because of her willingness to jump into every situation. We have already had our fair share of situations, and I don't think we've scared her off yet. So thank you to Dr. Seibel and Silvana, and as usual, to my right hand, Rania Nassar, and her amazing population health staff, who are back there. To all of our bureau directors for keeping our programs strong, and to all the wonderful staff at the Harford County Health Department. So tonight on our agenda, look at this. We have a special report, Opioid Operational Command Center Town Hall. We have program updates, and they include an FY23 snapshot of services, family health, Maryland Children's Health Program, population health, vital records, behavioral health, clinical health, emergency preparedness, and environmental health. For many years now, the Opioid Operational Command Center has been working with Maryland state agencies and local jurisdictions to address the opioid epidemic impacting communities across the state. The Health Department was contacted by the OOCC in August, and they requested a town hall style meeting in Harford County so they could hear about the current opioid situation in our community. They also wanted us to meet the new special secretary of the OOCC, Emily Keller, and that is her in purple there. The September town hall gave us the opportunity to provide updates on our county's efforts to battle the opioid crisis. Speakers included County Executive Casserly, Sheriff Gaylor, the Health Department's own Andrea Pappas and Sean Martin, Jennifer Redding from the Klein's Family Harford Crisis Center, and Rick Ayers, Director of Emergency Services. Ms. Keller had the opportunity to speak about statewide efforts, meet many of our key mental health and addictions providers in the county, and had a tour of the Sheriff's Hope House and Core Trailer. So we have quite a lot of services at the Health Department, in fact about 70, and this is just a snapshot. I'll mention a few before our program updates. Our medical assistance transportation rides are on the rise. These are rides scheduled by our staff to and from medical and dental appointments for our medical assistance patients. The Behavioral Health Bureau is extremely busy with over 13,000 visits a year for psychiatric, substance use, and other services. We're helping clients of all ages navigate through the healthcare system with care coordination services, including translation services when needed. Our clinical staff is busy giving vaccinations, including the required immunizations for school-aged children, and also with their regular clinic services. Our environmental health staff are handling a whole lot of food inspections, animal bites, and building permit reviews. And as you can see, that the number of dental and WIC visits are booming in our Family Health Bureau. So for our Family Health Bureau update, the Health Department recently began a nutrition program to serve individuals with a variety of nutrition concerns, including prediabetes, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and those who want to make lifestyle changes. The program is run by one of our registered dietitians, Kristen Perry, who has an abundance of nutrition experience in our WIC program. Kristen saw a need in our community and took the challenge of starting this program from scratch. In a few short months, she has 25 clients ranging from 11 to 90 years old. And this has become a family affair for one of her elderly clients who brings all of her grown children to her appointments. This has become a very successful program and is meeting a specialized need in our community. We have a unique program within the Health Department called Healthy Families Harford County, which provides home visiting services by trained family resource and support specialists to promote positive parenting, enhance child health and development, and prevent child abuse and neglect. The program is voluntary. All pregnant women and families with children under 3 months of age living in Harford County are eligible to be screened for services. Eligible families can participate in Healthy Families until their children reach 3 years of age. And some of you came to one of their graduations. Mr. Vincenti, I know you did. The program is currently delivering American Rescue Plan supplies and gift cards to enrolled families on a monthly basis, including items such as diapers, soaps, lotions, laundry detergent, cleaning supplies, and other items. In January of 2023, Maryland Medicaid began providing coverage of dental services to adults under the Maryland Healthy Smiles dental program. Since then, the Health Department's dental clinic in Edgewood has treated 332 new adult patients covered by this program. We are currently searching for a second general dentist to assist with this widespread need. For our Maryland Children's Health Program, this information was provided at the last Board of Health meeting, but it bears repeating. Every year, Medicaid enrollees are required to renew and verify that all of their information is correct. For many Medicaid enrollees who were due for renewal in March of 2020, coverage was automatically extended through April 30th, 2023 because of the pandemic. Now that the extension ended, Medicaid enrollees must once again renew their coverage every year. There are still pockets of Medicaid enrollees who haven't renewed, so our Maryland Children's Health Program staff continue to work hard to seek these folks out to ensure they continue to reauthorize their information online when they are due. To help accommodate this, MCHIP holds 2 Saturday events each month at our Haverty Grace office in Swan Creek. They can also assist new applicants at those events. In addition, our MCHIP staff will partner with Harford County Public Schools for an outreach effort to provide parents with reauthorization assistance within some of the Title I schools. In 2021, 12.5% of Harford County residents were told by their doctor that they had diabetes. The Harford County Health Department partnered with Upper Chesapeake to expand the number of diabetes prevention program classes offered to the community. DPP is an evidence-based program that is shown to prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Currently, the Health Department is running 3 DPP classes, 2 in English and 1 in Spanish. Participants are showing improvement in physical activity, weight loss, and blood sugar measurement. Due to the success of these programs, 2 additional classes will be starting later this fall. So we're excited about our 2023 annual Youth Symposium for middle and high school girls that will be held on Friday, November 17th from 6 to 10:30 p.m. at the Ward Y in Abingdon. This is our 2nd annual event for the girls. Registration is now open. The event is free for all young ladies in Harford County, and will focus on the benefits of self-care, cyberbullying, and social media etiquette, and cover mental health topics such as depression and anxiety. Special guests include 2022 Miss Maryland for America, Gabrielle Richmond, and words of encouragement by the president of Harford Community College, Dr. Teresa Felder. Our featured organization for this event is Girls on the Run of Central Maryland. We would like to acknowledge and thank the Ward Y in Abingdon for this incredible partnership. And this is your invitation to join us at the Local Health Improvement Coalition's annual meeting on Tuesday, December 5th at the Towson University Northeast Center Auditorium. Dr. Cybele, Silvana, and I will be presenting on the health of Harford County. There will be time for networking. Excuse me. And finally, the coalition will serve as an important key informant focus group for the 2024 Community Health Needs Assessment. Our team has worked in partnership with Upper Chesapeake to develop and distribute the assessment to the community, and results of that survey will be in the Community Health Needs Assessment publication in July 2024. There we go. The Vital Records Program at the Harford County Health Department provides copies of birth and death certificates to Maryland residents upon application. The program is offered at our 120 South Hayes Street location in Bel Air and is open 8 to 4. In FY23, we issued 6,849 copies of birth certificates and 9,911 copies of death certificates. These numbers are rising in FY24, mainly due to the fact that our health department offers the convenience of having the only walk-in services across the state. So we're actually seeing folks from other counties come to our vital records. Our Behavioral Health Bureau provides services for addictions, mental health, intensive outpatient care, peer recovery support, and much more. Psychiatry services are provided by Dr. Stancliffe and her team of psychiatric nurse practitioners. You can see just how many clients are served in these highlights. Of note, we had 1,700 individual sessions attended for addictions and mental health, and we had 1,300 group sessions attended. In March 2023, Behavioral Health Bureau was successfully awarded a 3-year CARF reaccreditation, and CARF stands for Commission on Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. The communications campaign to support 2023 Recovery Month in September was a successful team effort with many agencies coming together to promote and celebrate the gains made by those in recovery. For clinical services, the health department is working in coordination with the Harford County Public Schools to host a free flu shot clinic on Wednesday, November 1st, 2023 for school-age children in Harford County. The clinic will take place at the Patterson Mill High School Community Room from 4 to 8 p.m. This will be a walk-in clinic only, no appointment necessary, and children must be accompanied by a parent or adult or guardian. For emergency preparedness, we have Lisa Swank here with us. She's our emergency preparedness coordinator, and I thank her for organizing this event for the folks in the northern end of the county. Residents of Harford County who live or work within 10 miles of Peach Bottom Atomic Power Station are eligible to receive free potassium iodide, KI, from the Harford County Health Department during a community KI distribution event. The distribution event will take place at North Harford High School on Saturday, November 4th from 10 to 2. Eligible residents will be required to fill out a short distribution form in order to receive their doses, and both adult and child doses will be made available. And tonight's environmental health update is on temporary food permits. Environmental Health issued approximately 615 temporary food services facility permits in FY23. This type of permit is required for vendors providing food to the general public at a temporary event, and that includes the Italian Festival, Bel Air Barbecue Bash, First Fridays, carnivals, parades, and all sorts of different functions. Permit applications are to be submitted 10 days prior to the event to allow adequate time for review. And the permit fee is $25 per event. So, although I don't have a slide for it, I just wanted to highlight an event we had last weekend at our Woodbridge location in celebration of Spanish Heritage Month. Our team of Spanish-speaking staff organized the event, and 52 families attended, even in the rain. The children enjoyed face painting and painting pumpkins. We had many vendor tables, and Upper Chesapeake partners, including Dr. Barreto, gave 32 flu vaccinations and 34 blood pressure checks. And there was dancing. It was a huge success. And so I'll end here by saying that public health is not easy. Often we are the safety net providers for children and pregnant women on medical assistance who need dental care, for people with HIV, Hep C, and other communicable diseases, for people with mental health and substance use disorders, for people who need insurance, for young families who need help with their newborns, for children who need vaccinations so they're not excluded from school, for the elderly as we help to preserve their dignity with care coordination services and/or safety modifications to their homes so they can stay there just a little bit longer, for moms with substance use disorders, providing a safe environment called Megan's Place, and for the many undocumented citizens in our community providing care coordination services to find the medical and mental health care they thought they couldn't have. The entire health department staff, including our posse of Spanish speakers, helping their own, are the compassionate souls providing these safety net programs, and we should thank them every day for their efforts. So as always, thank you for your time.
Absolutely, Marcy, and thank you. Thank you for all you do. Your dedicated team, we appreciate it. So you stated earlier, if I'm correct, that Harford County Health Department is the only county in Maryland that provides walk-in service?
Yes. And so some of the other health departments have actually shortened their hours. It was just too overwhelming. They shortened their hours, and they have appointments only. So we opened it up to walk-ins, and it's just booming. We're actually having to do some renovations in one of the areas for a waiting room.
And so you see people coming from other jurisdictions then?
Yes, all over the state.
And I'm asking because I want to ask you this. On the 25th, we'll be hosting the delegation's pre-legislative session here in the council.
Okay.
Is there anything that you would like us to advocate for you through the state?
For any
through our
program?
delegates?
For any of our programs?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me think about that, and I'll get you a list.
Specifically for anything that you need. I know the state contributed a little more money this year to your budget.
Yes.
As well as Harford County.
Yes.
But I know it's not enough, and I know there's always a need for certain things. So while we have our delegates, our senators and delegates here as a captive audience,
Okay.
if there's something you need, I'll be more than glad to relay it to them
Okay,
personally.
thank you.
Okay?
I'll get you some.
Counsel, Mr. Giangiordano?
Marcy, it's good to see you.
Good to
So
see you.
I warmed up a little bit before, so you did a good job. So what percentage of people are coming from other counties?
Oh, that's a hard guess, but I'm really probably going to say 30%.
That-
They're even sending people from the main office in Reisterstown to us. The main reason is we got a new system. I don't know what it stands for, but it's called WAMS, and it acts up a little bit. But we've endured all of that, and we've made it work, and now we're kind of the leaders of vital records.
But it's also because you take walk-ins and nobody
Take
else does,
walk-ins.
right?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
I want to thank your staff, you. Couple things. The inspections for the restaurants have been great. I've learned a lot. Also, the temporary inspections for all those. Been in a couple of those, and that's gone really well. So I do appreciate
Good.
your staff and John and his people. So, and I know we're working on some other stuff that we need to sit down and do that. I was
Yes.
going to say, Marcy, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat everything you
Oh
said?
my gosh. I'm just going to hold it in my hand next time. I
But
need that big
thank you.
microphone.
Anyone else? Mr. Guthrie?
Marcy, always good to see you.
Good to see you.
like to compliment you on what you were able to do with dental clinic in Edgewood.
Thank you.
Double the size. It's always great to know. And well, microphone ain't on.
Actually, the second location's right there on Main Street, so.
Yeah, it's right on Main Street. I appreciate it. How many walk-ins do you get a year approximately at the Edgewood Center?
We don't do walk-ins there. We
Don't do walk-ins there?
No, we do appointment only because it's dental and it takes a little while for cleanings.
But you can go in and make an appointment? and then
Yes,
yeah,
you
I
can,
thought
and-
I saw that on the door.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can walk right in, make an appointment or call, but we do book because some of these appointments are quite long.
So I know we were
See some-
doing around 4,000 a year. What is that what is
The
the
last number I saw was, I believe, 6,000
6,000 this year? Or
a year, visits per year.
now we're up to
And
6?
that's with the addition of the new, and that one's not even fully booming yet, so
Mm.
we are in need of a general dentist. We're having trouble finding some dental people,
I'm sure.
hygienists, yeah. So, but it's going well.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do for the county.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guthrie. Mr. Bennett?
Thank you, and thank you for being here tonight and for all you do when you're not here. I just was wondering if you have any updates on minority health programming or any of that work that's going on in the
Would you
county?
like to hear that from Felicia? Would you like to come up, Felicia? Oh, yes, she's, you can come up, but I'll say stuff. She is doing the girls' event.
Mhm.
And, with the additional funding that Mr. Vincenti spoke of, we were actually able to, thank you. We were actually able to buy the supplies that Felicia and Michelle needed to continue the monthly events. So you can take it away, but there are 2 monthly events, right, per.
So, hello, everybody. Hello, Pat, and all the council members. Felicia Hopkins, Minority Health Program, Community Health Worker. Yes, we do the symposiums, but along with that, because of the generous funding from the council for Minority Health Program, we are fully funded to be able to go back out into Village of Lakeview, Windsor Valley, Somerset, Havre de Grace, and do programming starting in December. We thought that would be best because the youth symposium takes a lot of manpower to put together. So when we start back in December, we're going to be offering dinner in a book, which parents will be able to come with their children. There will be authors there learning about social emotional learning. They'll get dinner. And it's an hour programming. At the end of our hour programming, we do a Kahoot game for memory retention and all of our events. And it's absolutely free to everyone that wants to attend, not just those residents, but anybody in Harford County. We also do Crockpot Throwdown, where we bring in a professional chef, and she teaches healthy meals for pre-diabetics, diabetics, in a crock pot, and we raffle off 10 crock pots. So the funding is really going a long way. It's a very popular program. We do smoothie sip and paint, where we learn healthy smoothies. We're also talking about our high needs as far as diabetes, hypertension, colorectal cancer, mental health. We have all of those resources at the table, at the ready. We also, at each event, have Upper Chesapeake Medical there, and they do different assessments, maybe body analysis, maybe blood pressure checks. So we're very thankful for the funding that we've received. Minority Health Program still needs everybody's support. To my understanding, that we're unique in the fact that there aren't many minority health programs in the state. Correct me if I'm wrong, if there's not any. There might be, not like this. And also, we have a very unique program that we still need the funding and still need the support. And even for the youth symposiums, for the young people, as far as middle and high school students, we would love for any of our council members, if they wanted to do a 30-second congratulations or welcome, that would be a great encouragement, because it's really important that our young people know that they're not only we're supporting them, but their community is supporting them. and they like to be seen. So I can send that information to your legislative aides. It's 30 seconds, welcome. Example, hello, I'm Councilman President Patrick Vicente. We are so glad that you're taking a part in your mental health. This programming is one done by the health department. Have a great night. Something as simple as that. So I would love to see some of your faces on that big jumbo screen, giving congratulations and a welcome to our young people. Any other questions? Yes.
I mean, this is for you, but also for the health department in general, as more of our Title I schools and schools like Magnolia Middle are getting community specialists. Are you building inroads with those people to help, get the health department into our schools and the students and their families connected with the health department?
Yes, and we have school-based health centers in four or five. One's a high school, Swan Creek, that's what it's called. So we have school-based health centers. We'd like to expand into middle and high school. So we're talking to the schools about that. We would love to do that. Just for 1 second, back to minority health, we have a robust group of Spanish speakers in our health department, and they work with, I'm going to forget her name, Amadelis, I think. And she works, I think she's ahead of ESOL.
Yep.
And we've been working really closely with her to do focus groups, to see their needs, and then we try to see them at our health department. We do the dental. I think you've mentioned that before. We do the dental program right in the Title I schools, all the Title I schools. But yeah, we stay really connected with the school system. We
Thank
like
you.
the school system.
Thank you again. I just appreciate all that you all do, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Anyone else? Felicia, thank you. So on the 14th of November, Marcy, if you're available,
Okay.
Upper Chesapeake will be coming to give us an update on their progress in different programs and their building efforts.
Okay.
If you're available, I know Ms. Wise will be here,
Yeah.
Dr. Barretto, Kellen Ward, and some others. So
Okay.
if you're available, that'd be good
Okay.
to have you here, in
Okay.
case there's any questions that pop up.
Okay, great.
Okay? Well, this will go ahead and conclude this portion, but gentlemen, we're still going to act, council members, with Board of Health appointments. So you have Office of Mental Health, Core Service Agency of Harford County. May I have a motion, please?
Council President, I move to approve the following appointments: Heather Connolly, Amy Snyder, LaToya White, and Alexis Coleman.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Penman. Been moved and seconded to approve the appointments to both Office on Mental Health and Core Service Agency of Harford County. Is there any discussion? Ms. Dixon?
Mr. President?
Aye.
Mr. Guthrie?
Aye.
Mr. Penman?
Aye.
Mr. Giovanni?
Aye.
Mrs. Gonzalez?
Abstain.
Mr. Bennett?
Aye.
So we have 5 votes in the affirmative, 1 abstention, and 1 absent. So the appointments are hereby approved. And that will go ahead and conclude this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short recess. Good evening, Chair. Calls to order public hearing for Bill 23-030, Restaurants Moratorium Continuation. Mr. Penman?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank the entire council for co-sponsoring this bill. This is just a good business bill that would further extend the moratorium through December 31st of 2024 to facilitate and encourage business economic growth, which allows bars, breweries, nightclubs, and restaurants to expand and/or continue outdoor dining. So, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Penman. I will say that we do have a document tonight with us in hand with some thoughts and ideas for the future if this were to move forward. So they're from the administration and also from the health department. Anyone else? Ms. Dixon, is there anyone signed up?
Mr. President, Mark Moody, followed by Harry O'Neill.
Mr. Moody? Have your name and address, please.
Mark Moody,
Double Groove Brewing, 1659 Robbins Circle, Forest Hill, Maryland, 21050.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
All right, great. Thank you all this evening for extending this opportunity to speak about this bill. On behalf of Double Groove Brewing Company and our entire team, who relies on our continued success, thank you for bringing forth this bill 23-3030. As all of you all are aware, the origins of this bill started during COVID, which placed many burdens on small businesses, and particularly those in the restaurant, food, and beverage business, who have to seat many people at one time in a usually small space. Thanks to the moratorium on certain provisions of the zoning code, we were able to adapt and survive during that period, which was uncertain and rapidly changing, sometimes day by day. Ironically, we at Double Groove Brewing have only known this environment because we were only open 60 days when things changed rapidly. We had about 60 days of normalcy, and then the world changed. As a consequence, many of us in the business community have hired additional staff to meet the demands that COVID restrictions placed on us. We've adapted to the zoning standards affected by the moratorium for the last 3 years, which have resulted in a new normal business environment for us. This wasn't a 60-day endeavor or 90-day. This was a 3-year endeavor for businesses like ours. Bill 23-030 that extends this moratorium is vital to us. Our employees, our landlords, our vendors, and our patrons who rely on us to be in business. And the last comment that I'd really like to make is because we operate in this new normal, this bill that you brought forth needs to become permanent in order to avoid a contraction within the county. For all of those businesses to lose the investments in people, property, and contracts that we've made in order to adapt to this new normal, that would have a significant ripple effect throughout our community. And it's not just Double Groove, but it's many businesses out there. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, sir. Name and address, please.
My name is Harry O'Neill, 655 Rock Spring Church Road, Forest Hill, Maryland. I'm here today in support of this bill. While it doesn't, I'm also part owner of Independent Brewing Company in the town of Bel Air. This bill doesn't affect us because we are in the town limits, not the county. But I come speaking as a resident and the benefits of having outdoor seating for restaurants, bars, nightclubs, particularly those venues that have the capacity to have the outdoor seating to encourage people to sit outside if they choose to. And this bill is great that it extends it for another year, but I am very interested to hear what ideas and thoughts I have for going forward, make something more permanent. I have the benefit of traveling a lot in my other work that I do. I travel around the country and internationally, and you see a lot more outdoor seating provided at restaurants. They have them just set up in grassy areas as well as on sidewalks and the available lots around them. And it's where people want to be. They want to be outside when the weather is nice. And I think that we, as citizens of this county, should look to how we can accommodate that, because it is an enjoyable part of being in the community where you can be outside with your friends, having a dinner or a beverage. I will say that having the capacity to have outdoor seating during the pandemic was huge for Independent. It was able not only to keep us in operation, but it gave people in the community a place to come and gather and socialize during a very challenging time. And I just hope that the council will consider these thoughts when they're thinking of a more permanent solution, one that might accommodate the businesses going forward so that they can plan for the future of how they can promote settings for the community to have seating to enjoy their establishment. So I appreciate your time and your support of this bill.
Thank you, sir.
There are no more speakers, Mr. President.
Very good. With no more speakers, this will conclude the public hearing on Bill 23-030 and will be taken up at a future meeting. Thank you. Also, just for the record, Bill 23-031 was pulled last week or withdrawn last week by Councilman Guthrie and will be returning on November 7th. So this will conclude the public hearings, and we'll take another recess. Good evening, Chair. Calls to order legislative session day 23-027. I would ask you to please join us in standing for the pledge, followed by the opening prayer by Councilmember Penman. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we humbly come before you and thank you for your grace and mercy. Lord, we ask for the strength, wisdom, and guidance as we navigate the difficulties of life. Lord, throughout the year and during this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we ask you to be with all those suffering with this terrible disease and provide them with the strength and determination to overcome. And that the awareness resonates in the hearts and minds of those that could be vulnerable to breast cancer to receive routine checkups. Lord, please bless the nation and the people of Israel, provide them strength and guidance to overcome the atrocities that have taken place. Thank you again, Lord, for your love, mercy, and grace that enables and empower us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Agenda item number 4, presentation of proclamations, National Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce Day. It's my honor and pleasure to welcome Miss Angela Rose from the Harford County Chamber of Commerce. If you would please come forward, and anyone else that would like to join you. Mr. Giangiordano, Mr. Penman, whenever you're ready, if you will, stand please.
Whereas each year we celebrate National Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce Day on the third Wednesday in October and thank local chambers across the country for all they do to help entrepreneurs and businesses of all sizes thrive. And whereas there are approximately 4,000 chambers of commerce in the United States, their purpose is to advance members' interests, spur job creation, and promote economic development. Many of the chambers are also members of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and benefit from the nationwide network and the expertise and knowledge of the policies and experts. Whereas the Chamber of Commerce and our nation's strongest small business advocates provide a voice for thousands of communities across America. When businesses succeed, communities succeed. Now, therefore, we, the County Council of Harford County, Maryland, on this 17th day of October 2023, do hereby join the Harford County Chamber of Commerce in proclaiming October 18th, 2023, National Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce Day, and encourage all citizens to acknowledge and celebrate the contributions and accomplishments of local Chamber of Commerce in their communities.
Thank you, Mr. Penman. So, on behalf of my colleagues here at the County Council, I want to present this proclamation to you. But I just want to thank you for all that you do to support all of our local businesses here in the county and beyond. You start your day early in the morning. This morning we started at 7:30, and she did nothing but promote businesses and try to answer as many questions as she could, as she does every day. So I want to thank you and your dedicated team for all you do for Harford County.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
How do you top that? But I think, how many years now have you been? 9 years. So 9 years, great leadership, great support all the time. You call her, you've got a question, she answers you, she gets back to you. She's always probably the biggest advocate for all the businesses in Harford County. So really appreciate that and appreciate your staff and everybody coming today.
Thank you so much.
We're going to let you say a few words.
Thank you, Council President Vincenti and Councilman Tony G. and councilmen and women behind me. We have such a support with the council. We may not always agree on topics, but we know at the end of the day that we are all here to better Harford County because we all live, work, and play here. And as the Harford County Chamber of Commerce, I am the proud president and CEO, but these people up here with me in the board of directors and our team are the men and women that make it happen and really are the boots on the ground and the ones that are investing in the work that we do. So I just want to thank them as well and just say that we represent over 600 businesses and that equates to 20,000 employees in Harford County. So we're very proud of that and could not thank you more for this proclamation. So thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, we'll get a photo op real quick.
No.
She had her chance.
I just want to hear her laugh.
Thank you.
Want to get the whole mafia up here?
Harford County, Maryland proclamation, whereas October is recognized annually as the Italian American Heritage Month, and whereas established in 1989, the Italian American Heritage and Culture Month features events, readings, and movie screenings. Its deepest meaning, however, lies mostly in recognizing and paying homage to the influence of Italian Americans in shaping today's society. And whereas over 26 million Americans of Italian descent currently reside in the United States, comprising America's seventh largest ethnic group, Italian American Heritage Month celebrates the distinguished cultural contributions of Americans with Italian lineage. And whereas the Harford County Society of Italian American Businessmen, SIAB, was formed 10 years ago to honor the Italian family values, support their community, and preserve and celebrate the Italian heritage, SIAB is comprised of moral and ethical businessmen who provide financial support to local charities through grants, scholarships, and scholarships with over $1 million in raised funds. Whereas founder Mark Dardozzi created SIAB by modeling it after a long-standing Baltimore Italian group with the same morals and ethic. Mark, along with 9 other founding members, continue to support Harford County. Now, therefore, we, the County Council of Harford County, Maryland, on this 19th day of October 2023, do hereby proclaim and congratulate October 2023 Italian American Heritage Month and SIAB 10-year anniversary, and the first ever Maryland Italian Festival.
So now becomes the challenge of bringing all of our brothers forward and keeping them organized. So if you would, please, step forward, all of you.
Didn't realize I had so many Italian friends. That's a quarter, I figured that. Hey, my man, good to see you, always. That's right, Memphis Mafia.
All right, listen, I just want to recognize all of you for the jobs that you do, the work that you do to benefit Harford County citizens each and every day. And this past event, you reached out further than Harford County, and you reached out to a Harford and Cecil County organization. So I want to thank you and appreciate all you do. And with that, I'm going to give it to Tony.
So I just want to say, 10 years ago, I joined this group. Mark came in my office a couple times, and I said, I'd love to. Just the amount of camaraderie and the hard work that these gentlemen put in, the dedication, the selflessness of making everything work so that we can give back to the community. There's nothing like this I've ever seen. I've been a member of a lot of groups, but this past event, the Maryland Italian Festival, guys worked for a week beforehand putting this together. Guys just went out of their way, did whatever they had to do, and kept doing it. We couldn't have done it without every one of these members putting forth their effort. Everything we do, we try to do it the best and make sure that everybody has a good time, and we raise money and we give it back. And and we want to continue to do that. We've raised over $1 million, and we're going to keep going. And I'm glad to call these men my brothers. Thank you.
I would just like to thank everybody here, and I just want to say a couple things. Elio, put your hand up. Elio and I had this idea to start SIAB. We got together, and there's some guys that have been here from day one for all 10 years, and I have to give kudos to Elio for chairing the Italian Festival, which really was a great hit, and something we're all very proud of.
Yeah, enough's been said about SIAB. I mean, this is 10 years. I've been in this organization now 8, and I'm the current president, so I'm very, very honored to be standing here with these gentlemen. I call each and every one of these guys my brothers. We do things both for the community, in the community, and with the community. And everything we do in order to make this a better community and give back to the community. So thank all of you guys. I really, really appreciate standing here with you. Pat, Tony, thank you guys for what you do for the community, as well as all of you here in Harford County. Thank you.
We have some other proclamations for the co-founders and founding members. Mr. Penman, whenever you're ready.
Yes, in recognition of the co-founders, Mark A. Dardozzi, Elio Scaccio, founders Fred Militello, Frank Schwind, Bill Walden, Tony Palumbo, Mark Troiani, Tony Gian Giordano, and Bill Costantini. Visconti, sorry,
Viscontini.
I thought I did well.
Screwed up all them Scottish names.
Bill Walden. Tony Palumbo. Mark Troiani. Tony G. And we're going to keep Bill's Visconti. All right, well, thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Just a bit, please. Thank you. And sir in the back, please. Yes, you. That way.
Guy in a red shirt, yeah.
Guy in a red shirt.
Great. And I'm actually going to have one of you go into the back. Next time I'll borrow your shoes. You sir, can you step this way just a little? Good. Glasses in the back. Can you step this way just a tad, please? Thank you. All right, ready?
Sure.
You were trying to get in on that thing.
Back of his head.
Can you actually come back closer to the school? Keep going. Keep going. Good.
All right.
Okay, good.
Thank you. I practiced, you see. Fred, how are you? Good to see you. Doing all right? Yeah, good.
Gentlemen, thank you for telling me to see y'all. See you.
How you know I want
I appreciate you helping out at the
Yeah, anytime, anytime.
What's up, brother? Same thing, man. Good to see you again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
See you. Mark.
Agenda item number 5, consideration of petitions, applications, appointments, and nominations. There are none. 6, special presentations. We have none. 7, approval of minutes. Public hearing October 10th, 2023. Legislative day 23-026, October 10th, 2023. Are there any corrections to the minutes? There being no corrections, the minutes stand approved. 8, introduction and consideration of resolutions. Resolution 037-23, Master Water and Sewer Plan Update, Fall 2023. May I have a motion?
Council President, I move to approve Resolution 38-23.
037-23.
I move to approve Resolution 037-23, Master Water and Sewer Plan, Update Fall.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Penman. It's been seconded to approve Resolution 037-23. Is there any discussion? Ms. Dixon?
Mr. President?
Aye.
Mr. Guthrie?
Aye.
Mr. Penman?
Aye.
Mr. Giangiordano?
Aye.
Mrs. Bolsados? Aye. Mr. Bennett?
Aye.
There's 6 votes in the affirmative and 1 absent. The resolution 037-23 is hereby approved. And before I go any further, Mr. Riley is on a business trip and is not with us, obviously, so he'll be back at our next meeting. Mr. Giangiordano, please read Resolution 038-23 and 039-23 into the record, please.
Resolution 038-23, Enterprise Zone Tax Credit 2007, Cedar Drive, Edgewood, introduced by Council President Vincenti at the request of County Executive. A resolution to approve a real property tax credit against the county property tax imposed on the eligible assessment for property in the Edgewood Joppa Enterprise Zone known as 207 Cedar Drive, Edgewood, Maryland 21040, LIBOR 14770, Folio 00210, tax ID number 01098861, Lot 1-217/44, Copper Mine Athletic Fields, 35.082 acres, presently owned by Washington Court Partners, LLC. Public hearing scheduled November 21st, 2023, at 7 p.m. in these chambers. Resolution 039-23, Enterprise Zone Tax Credit, 755 Chelsea Road, Aberdeen, introduced by Council President Vincenti at the request of the County Executive. A resolution to approve real property tax credit against the county property tax imposed on the eligible assessment for property in the Greater Aberdeen Havre de Grace Enterprise Zone known as 755 Chelsea Road, Aberdeen, Maryland 21001, LIBOR 15745-Folio 00496, tax ID number 02-060876, Lot 2, Final Plat 217/82, Perryman Industrial Business Park, 17.7347 acres, presently owned by FRP 801 Chelsea, LLC. Public hearing scheduled November 21st, 2023, at 7 p.m. in these chambers.
Thank you. Number 9, introduction of bills. We have none. 10, introduction and consideration of amendments. Councilmember Penman, please read the amendment to Bill 23-029.
Amendments to Bill 23-029, Tax Credit Nonprofit Swim Clubs, introduction by Council Members Penman, Guthrie, Bull, Sottles, Riley, and President Vincenti. Amendment number 1, on the title page and third, fourth, and fifth lines, in each instance, after the word, quote-unquote, real, insert, quote, and property, and personal property, unquote. Amendment number 2, on page 1 and line 14, after quote-unquote, county, insert, quote, real and personal, unquote, period.
Thank you. These amendments will be considered at a future meeting. 11, call for final reading of bills. 12, enrollment of bills. 13, unfinished business. No business in any of those 3. 14, new business. The APFO meeting on October the 12th was extremely well attended. We moved it from the conference room on the second floor down here in the chambers, anticipating participation from our citizens, and they showed up. We had over 30 in attendance altogether with committee members, board members. And I want to thank all of them, all of you who attended, whether you were invited or whether you just came on your own. The information that they provided, the citizens and all of us here, the different department heads, whether it be Treasury, DPW, DILP, and Planning and Zoning, it was very much appreciated. The items that we discussed were obviously school capacity, land banking, balancing enrollment, future school building sites, and also impact fees. There will be a more in-depth report from that meeting that will come out. I think it's Cornell Brown puts those last minutes together, and he will, as soon as he has those done, he'll send us for confirmation, and then we'll go ahead and disperse them amongst all of those who attended, plus the council members. And at the same time, it will be put on our website for everyone to see. And then also the June 2023 report is available now on our website. Council members all have a copy of it, so it is available for everyone there. Agenda number 17, comments and input from attending citizens. Ms. Dixon, do we have anyone signed up?
Yes, Mr. President, I believe we have about 7 this evening. Joy Clark, followed by Kim Mesh.
She was here.
I don't see Ms. Clark. I think she left.
Kim Mesh, followed by Chuck Mezan.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Name and address, please.
I knocked my teeth out. It's Kim Mish, 492 Copeland Road in Fallston. So it's a pleasure to speak before you all this evening. I've seen you guys around. I've been here a few times, so it's nice. My interest this evening is the Fallston sewer area. I came across a report from 2017. It's the Fallston Sanitary Subdistrict Sewer Capacity Study. There were 2 phases. So there's information in this report that, in my opinion, it's not synchronous with what's actually happening in Fallston. So rather than go into all the details of this, everybody can, access this information. I have some other information from the fiscal year 2023 capital budget. Councilman Penman, since you are my representative and you graciously attend our Fallston Community Advisory Board meetings, I was hoping that next Wednesday that I don't know if you're planning to attend, I hope you are, that you could maybe discuss this more in depth to allay any concerns that exist with impending development and what information exists about our current sewer status. And that's really pretty much it. I hope that you all, board members, council members, will take very seriously into account the natural resources that we have in this county. And when I say natural resources, I mean commodities. Talking soil, water, things that are invaluable, especially as it applies to development, so on and so forth. We rely on you. And I think that you all do take this seriously. So Fallston Sewer, that's where my head is at, and I look forward to hearing from you, Councilman Penman. Thank you.
Ms. Mish, I'm sure that Councilman Penman will respond to you, but I'm also going to ask Mr. Richardson from the administration to feed information either to you or to Mr. Penman. So you'll have an answer one way or the other.
I did speak with an engineer from the sewer department today for probably over an hour about this. I am not a trained engineer, so it's been quite interesting. I have great faith in our agencies also in Harford County. I've talked to some really great people.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Name and address, please.
Good evening, Council. Chuck Mezan, 1812 Park Beach Drive, Aberdeen, Maryland. Pat, I hope I can talk about the warehouse zoning bill today.
You can, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Just for a minute or two. No, just kidding.
Yeah, it will be brief. This afternoon, the zoning bill was passed. I just wanted to thank the county administration, Bob Castley, and the 5 members of this council that voted for that bill. A lot of work all the way since I think we started working on the beginning of this year. A ton of hours, weekend hours even, just so a ton of time was put in. We didn't get everything we wanted, of course, as Pat, you've said, and I think overall, it was a win for the county. It's a win for Perryman. It's a win for Aberdeen Woods. There's certainly some things that I would like, everybody would like to have cleaned up, and I'm hoping, as Pat, you suggested, that it's a breathing bill and things can get addressed. One of the things that worries me about the bill the most is we reduced it down to 250,000 square feet per warehouse, but some of the guts of the bill were taken out by amendments, especially amendments 14 and 15 that really took out the total coverage, building coverage percentage. It reduced it down in the pervious surface as well. And that allows more of these 250 warehouses. So the intensity was ripped out during the late hours of the amendments, it appears, and I just hope that can be discussed and further addressed. And in particular, for Aberdeen Woods, it to me appears that the percentage of total coverage actually went up from the previous zoning, was at 55% coverage. I'm sorry, 50% coverage, and now it's 55. So I don't think the intent of that bill was for the total building coverage to actually increase. So that was a big, something I'd like you to look at. But on another note, the adequate public facilities. I'd like to also, as it's being considered about the school percentages, also the intersection level of service, and why the intersections that are in development envelope have a different set of standards than intersections that are not inside the development envelope. To me, I would think if there is 2 sets, that intersections in the development envelope should be at a much stronger level, because that's where all the building and intensity is going on. But no, we have our level of service in the development envelope is D or higher, whereas in other roads and intersections outside of the development envelope are C. So I ask that you look at this, why there's these 2 standards, and look at having a level playing field for people that have to live and drive in a development envelope. It makes sense that those should actually be at a higher level. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Paul Falacci, followed by Ron Stuczynski.
Good evening, sir. Name and address, please.
Good evening, Paul Falacci, 320 Marine Avenue in Perryman. I'm going to talk about the Harford County's warehouse legislation process also. The timeline, I want to talk about the process. That's had issues with that. So just some data. Harford County Code, Chapter 267 is the zoning code. There's 126 pages, 15 articles, also references 16 other chapters, 19 attachments, 18 tables, and the permitted use chart. So a lot of information. County Executive introduced the bill to the County Council the 3rd week of August, the week of the 21st. 2 weeks to review, make changes, introduce. Tuesday, 5 September, County Executive Bill number 23-26026 was introduced to the Council. 27 days to review, solicit comments from citizens. It's a 28-page bill with changes affecting a 126-page document that, again, has 15 articles, also references 16 other chapters and 19 attachments. It's 2 October, public hearing. Citizens have 27 days to review and 3 minutes to comment on the bill in public. Thanks for all 3 minutes. 8 days later, council has time to introduce amendments, read the bill, solicit input from citizens. Tuesday, the 10th of October, 112 amendments to the bill. 23-026 amendments to zoning codes 267-5, 267-60, and 126 warehouse. So about 70 amendments that have been shared for 4 to 8 days with fellow council citizens, but 40 that were not shared and just to a few hours before the council meeting. So Tuesday, same day, Tuesday, 10 October, final reading of the bill with amendments, 112 changes, 50 amendments that were shared with the county executive by the county executive on 2 October, 8 days for the council review. District F Councilman Bennett had about 20 changes or amendments with input from citizens, made available for President Vincente for weeks and other council members for several days. President Vincente presented his own 40 or so amendments with input from non-resident business interests that were not shared with citizens until reading on 10 October, only shared with the fellow council members a few hours before the 10 October council meeting. A few minutes later, same day, Tuesday, 10 October, the enrollment of the bills, and everybody votes on it. So my understanding is, why would the council have to resort to such an opaque process without communicating your intentions to the communities affected, the citizens of Harford County, and fellow councilmen for a week in review, and give us another week afforded to really understand the bill and vote at it like we do on other important bills? So my question is it when non-resident businesses and out-of-state corporation interests are preferred over the interests of tax-paying citizens? So my question is, why? Thanks.
So before you walk away from the mic, I think you have some of your facts incorrect. And I think Mr. Bennett can clear up some of the amendments that you spoke to in numbers. The 40 amendments that you spoke to are a combination of all council members, including Mr. Bennett. They were not my single and sole amendments. So you and I can have a conversation after this meeting at some point so that you get your facts straight. And remember the timeline, I think it's November 9th, we will have had this bill in front of us, or this issue in front of us, for 2 years. Not 27 days, not 40 days, 2 years. But thank you for your comments.
But to be fair, the bill or the amendments were.
Name and address, please.
Ron Stuchinski, Perryman. My question is going to be for those of you that voted against Amendment 39, which was there was 4 of you, which was the amendment failed to pass, which would have limited the intensity of use by capping the daily trip rates. I want to know why you voted to veto. Because I'm willing to bet my salary next year that nobody that voted no even understood any part of it or even read it. I had a speech to give tonight. Oh, I want to send a shout out to my wife that's home tonight. Love you. Jessica, I wanted to talk to you last week because your only argument about this warehouse bill / Perryman Peninsula bill was about job creation. And as of today, there's 1,016 warehouse jobs available in Harford County, of which 865 are in Perryman. That's 85% of all warehouse jobs are available. So the whole job creation, and I know you've also spoke about it shuts down construction workers, what have you. Construction workers don't get hired in Harford County to put these warehouses up, anywhere in Harford County. They're bought in by developers, just like the ones that stood outside with Whit McCraig last year with his workers holding signs. They're not from here, so that's farce. Also, Dion, I hope you're a better man tonight. I hope you do apologize to Jacob for us. I don't appreciate anyone up there calling each other a liar. I don't think it's right for us or anyone else that has to watch or listen to this. I have no reason. I know Jacob is our representative. I have no reason not to believe everything he said up there the other day, because he has no reason to lie, right? And I know that I talked to you the Sunday before that on the 8th at 11:40 a.m. for 21 minutes. Me and my wife.
I think you're done again. You might as well stop right now.
I'm not stopping yet. But we had the same sort of conversation where you said the bill was in stone and amendments were in stone, whatever you told me. And you made sure to end with, make sure I'm going to need help with my hotel tax bill, which I have no idea what that even means. And I was like, We'll deal with it when it comes up. That's basically what I said. So I hope things change. I hope it's a better atmosphere tonight. Tony G, great event last Tuesday. I did lose about $200 on your money wheel, which I'll be looking forward to getting back. And other than that, I do thank the 5 of you that voted for the bill and that understood it. The 2 that didn't, I don't know. I have nothing to say about it, so thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Maria Montgomery, followed by John Malamo.
Good evening, ma'am. Name and address, please.
Maria Montgomery, 544 Beards Hill, Aberdeen. So my comments are directed directly at Ms. Jessica Boyle-Saddles. You're my representative, and I don't feel represented. There's several reasons why I don't feel represented. Most recently, your vote against Bill 23-026 that establishes limits on warehouse sizing to 250,000 square feet. And this is your direct quote. It could be long-lasting and result in the cutting of services or tax increases or both. You gave us no details with that. Where are the details showing the potential economic impact of this bill so that citizens can see why you voted the way you did? You didn't share that data that led to your decision. You didn't share it with the citizens of your district, and I am in your district, didn't share any of that. Your district is over 43,000 people. It's not just one person with one opinion, it's 43,000. Your vote did not represent this district, your district. I'm from Aberdeen. Aberdeen, have you visited Aberdeen? Have you been to the city council meetings? Because I go to those regularly, and I don't see you there. Have you visited the senior centers there? Senior citizens are pretty active voters. They'd love to see you. Have you hosted a town hall meeting in our area? Do you know that the population of Aberdeen, it's over 16,200 residents. That's 37% of your district. Yet we don't feel very represented by you. It's more than a third. I've been to several council meetings. I'd love to see you there. To get in touch with you is a very difficult thing. We shouldn't have to reach out to you. You should be reaching out to us. You should be telling us where you are, where your town hall meetings are, if you put town hall meetings together for the different areas. You need to have a proactive approach to visit the citizens of District E. Telling us to send you emails and leaving you messages is a moot point. I've tried that. I've emailed at the beginning of your term. I've left a voicemail. I've left a message with your aide, and none of those things have ever gotten reached. So how do we learn about your positions? You vote in ways that we don't agree with. How do we learn what your plans and your positions are? Where are they published? You are a public servant, and we should know these things. Your official Facebook page is not up to date, nor is your website. I look forward to hearing back from you.
Good evening, sir. Name and address, please.
Sir, good evening to you and your colleagues. John P. Malamo, 2402 Eagle View Drive, Bel Air, Maryland. County administration uses these Maryland laws to shield itself from residents seeking relief from land use and zoning decisions and actions. These 3 cases are cited and relied upon to deny relief. Falls Road Community Association versus Baltimore County, ruling that enforcement of the zoning code is purely discretionary. The county is not required to enforce its zoning code, and the courts will not force it to do so. Hyder versus Harford County, when the county does not answer, there can be no judicial appeal. Residents are left without recourse. Accardi versus Shaughnessy, when an agency does not follow its own procedures and processes, its actions are null and void. Absent processes and procedures, while agency decisions might be mostly arbitrary and capricious, they cannot be challenged on procedural or process grounds. In administrative law, courts do consider deference to agencies' decisions or actions. Deference is found in these three cases: Chevron, Skidmore, and Auer. There is a test for each one that judges apply to determine whether deference is warranted. All that is needed to sustain a factual determination is substantial evidence in the record. Legal conclusions are not entitled to the same deference and may be reversed where they are merely erroneous. Memorandum, opinion, and order in the matter of Austin Transfer and Processing, LLC. This is where the county's strategy falls apart. In some recent cases involving zoning and land use decisions and actions by the Harford County administrations, the courts found that they were without basis. Those decisions and actions were reversed. The law should apply equally to everyone. Courts will not look favorably on any decisions or actions not supported by substantial facts or evidence. Any group seeking a favorable outcome from their complaint would be well advised to review the facts of any decision or action by the county. Now, switching up a little bit, Mr. Penman, I appreciate the tough questions you pose to representatives from the executive branch in their testimony. Please do not badger them. Council President Vincenti, you are the presiding officer in these meetings. It is unacceptable to allow council members to badger and or demean anyone speaking in front of the council. Please see to it that it does not happen again. Intervene, and when necessary, end the testimony. And by the way, would you please start answering my questions? Now, to all those who come here to testify in front of the council, come prepared to answer tough questions. The county might be in a better condition if your predecessor had answered tough questions. To the county executive, you do your staff a disservice if you have not prepared them and reviewed their testimony. More importantly, you fail residents of Harford County and embarrass yourself. Good night.
There are no more speakers, Mr. President.
Very good. With no more speakers, we'll move to business from council members. Mr. Guthrie.
Thank you. Myself, Mr. Penman also attended the APFO meeting and thought it was very educational on both sides. I was very pleased with the overall percentage in all the schools, both elementary, middle school, and high schools, considering what we went through in the early 2000s when we had the schools that were some upwards to 130, 140% over capacity. Now we're looking at with 110% capacity in the law now. There's only a couple of schools that are even over 110. So that was that was interesting to see. Also, I want to thank on Thursday the 12th, I met with Karen Holt and Sean Kraut regarding the enterprise zones. I appreciate them coming over to my office and filling me in and all that. On Saturday, grand opening of Dunkin' Donuts franchise on 1928 Pulaski Highway in Edgewood. Presented them with a proclamation along with County Executive Casserly for attending. It wasn't the best weather out there, but it was well attended for the rain and the cool air we had out there, and really happy to have them in place. It's good business. Also, I'm working with the Joppatown Marina to assist them. They've been trying for some time to get a liquor license, and we hope to have that done by spring. So when they open back up on full bore, I mean, they're not closed, but when they open full bore, the marina there, they should have a beer and wine license at least, and they will go after maybe a liquor license at a later date. Only marina in Harford County doesn't have a beer and wine license. Also, I'd like to thank the carrying executive, Bob Castley and Terry Hanley, because we're finally getting these lights put in the in the Copenhagen Park in Joppatown. The lights there that were put in about 20 years ago that light up the football field, half of them are burned out, and the problem is now they do not have replacements for those lights because their age. So the county is going to replace them with LEDs, and that'll make a much better program when they have their night football games there. And I also want to thank Denny John, who's the president of the Joppatown Recreation Council, and his family for their dedicated volunteer service for over 30 years in the area running that football program. It's amazing that you would have somebody volunteering all that time, and I can guarantee you he's put thousands of dollars out of his own pocket in that program for so many problems that we've had with that Ridgely Reserve and what they've done, and they had to run their drain pipes down alongside of that football field and cut across the front to hook up into that system. And when they did, they tore up all the ground. They also tore up, there was a little culvert that so the water would run down and go into the stream, but they took the culvert out. When they did that, when it rained, now all the water ran over on the football field and flooded the football field. So John and his friends get pumps and generators their own and go down there and run it and pay for all the gas and everything. They wanted to pump all the water off the football field so they could play football. So really dedicated people. There's kind of dedicated people we have all through Harford County. It's what makes Harford County work. I love him to death and do anything I can for him. So I appreciate it and all his 30-some years in that program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guthrie. Mr. Penman.
Thank you, Mr. President. To further a discussion of transparency, ethics, and accountability, I thought it was relevant to note that Baltimore County is proposing legislation to establish an independent Inspector General's office. The purpose would be to create an Office of Ethics and Accountability to audit, inspect, evaluate, and investigate government operations. Perhaps Harford County could begin having these same discussions of possibly establishing an independent oversight office to ensure the accountability of laws, regulations, as well as county code and charter are being followed. And another note, once again, in reference to the proposed Fallston apartment, I believe a successful solution has been discussed to reduce from 100 apartments to 48 senior housing leased units. The 100 apartment project scheduled for DAC has been canceled while the developer works on establishing a new project plan to reflect the reduced units for senior living project. In addition, discussions are taking place with the developer to enter into a legally binding agreement reflecting the senior housing. And finally, as I mentioned last week, I think it's time to provide the 1.5 pay increase for all the Harford County hardworking county employees. I know the fiscal numbers will come back next week, and barring some unforeseen issue, I believe we should have a discussion about even increasing the pay increase above 1.5%. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Penman. Mr. Giangiordano.
Thank you, Council President. I'm devastated, sickened by the brutal attacks and murders of the Jewish people through the horrific acts of the Hamas terrorist group. My heart goes out to all the innocent victims, families grieving, the growing loss as this war escalates. My heart goes out to the Jewish community, especially my dear friend Rabbi Cushy at Harford Shabbat. I've known him for 10 years and cannot fathom the pain his community is going through. Some of his friends over in Israel. I pray for justice, the innocent victims and their families, and for compassion. On top of that, I did do a grand opening for the Grazie Room. Dana, who's got, I think 135,000 Instagram followers, does charcuterie boards over there by Bagel Works. Great little place. She's going to have sandwiches and everything. If you get a chance, stop in there. I'm sure all her followers are going to go over there. And then I did the grand opening of Home Team Mortgage for Tony and Ryan. So that's all I have. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Giangiordano. Ms. Sottles.
Good evening, everyone. I have a few events that I wanted to let you know about. The Aberdeen Public Library is hosting a trick-or-treat at the library on Halloween from 10 to 8. If you go in your costume, you can get a treat and a craft. And the Aberdeen Community Coalition is helping host a family fall festival at Anna's House on Tollgate Road. Trunk or treat, games, crafts, food for the whole family on the 27th from 4 to 6. And then the college, Harford Community College, is doing an evening glow run, and that it will take place on campus Friday the 20th at 7 p.m. Check their website for more information. Have a good night.
Thank you, Ms. Sottles. Mr. Bennett.
Hello, good evening. It's been a busy week. I had the opportunity to meet with Visit Harford this past week, which was a very informative conversation. Got to learn from them the history of our hotel tax and how it works, and the history of their funding, and also talked some about the differences in other counties and how they operate with that. So it was very helpful for me and just learning more from them, and I really appreciated that time. It was very generous of them. I also attended the first Board of Ed meeting as a county council liaison, which was very informative, especially as they start talking about their capital budget. It was their first night reviewing the history of the capital budget, getting everybody ready for that. I also just want to say it was a very well-run meeting. In the past, the Board of Ed has had its struggles with keeping a well-run, well-maintained meeting, and I thought I saw a lot of improvement in that, which was nice. At the meeting, I did speak briefly in public comment just about a constituent concern that we had been emailed as a council from a young man who's a senior at Aberdeen High School and plays baseball, and he had noted that Jackie Robinson Day has not been celebrated by high school baseball sports or his Parks and Rec experience in baseball. So we hosted a meeting and had invited the Parks and Rec office and members of HCPS to hear from him. I have had follow-ups with Mr. Hanley from Parks and Rec, and those conversations have seemed positive. Also had follow-ups with HCPS and just spoke to it again last night, hopefully making a way to celebrate and recognize Jackie Robinson Day for our youth and to make it an opportunity to learn our history. There's local connections with the integration of baseball with Negro Leagues here in Harford County, and then also giving our young people something to be proud of. So hoping to continue to have those conversations and work on that. Besides that, I think the biggest thing for my office right now is really diving deep into enterprise zones. We want to understand more, again, how does it look in other counties? Where are our deficits as a county and how we manage our enterprise zones, and the benefits and costs of having our enterprise zones. That's especially relevant right now as we look at adding yet another property in District F to the enterprise zone, making sure that we are addressing those needs and deficits and how we manage the enterprise zone. So that's everything for me tonight. Again, I appreciate everyone for being here, and have a great night.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. And then earlier I spoke about the Adequate Public Facilities Ordinance Advisory Board meeting. And one of the things that I forgot to touch on, besides my council colleagues being there, one of the things that we talked about was the importance and the benefits of the administration meeting on a regular basis with Harford County Public Schools as far as their budget concerns go. County executive wanted to have more involved meetings so that they're not surprised when the budget cycle starts. And so they did confirm here the other night that they are meeting on a regular basis, and they are well aware and working to mitigate any type of surprises that may come when we get to our budget cycle. So I thought it was important to mention that. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of attending the Gunpowder Wine Trail kickoff at Harford Winery. I'd never been there before. It's a great event, great venue. I want to thank Angela for being there as well, and Visit Harford they're the ones that really steered this along with economic development. It was a great event. It supports tourism throughout Harford County. And they did something earlier this year for ice cream, and I did enjoy that. I did partake in that, so.
It shows.
Yes, thank you. And most important that I wanted to speak to today is we have received 14 applications for our Police Accountability Board vacancy. I am meeting with the Personnel Committee on Monday to review the applicants that we have, and then after that, they will be dispersed amongst all the council members for their review, and if they want to interview so that they have time to do that. I believe we have one current vacancy. So looking forward to do that. And then there's some other things that we need to address too as we're moving forward, but I'll bring that up at the Personnel Committee. And with that, I have no other comments. I want to thank you all for being here and your patience, and we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting.